We only learned of it through a fortunate coincidence. And it was he who specified the victims for the vampire. One must be exceptionally confident to blackmail such a monster.
냄새가 난다. 맞아, 아무리 신트라고 얘네들도 중개인일 수도 있지.
Still don't know this Cintrian's behind the kidnapping and blackmail. Might have just handled the theft of the wine.
Even if it's so, he then sold the wine to the blackmailers. As I see it, that makes him an accomplice.
Need to find the Cintrian, whether or not he's responsible for the murders. Even if none of it's his doing, he could still know our blackmailer's identity. Besides, it's one thing to know who ordered the killings. Other thing entirely, and just as important, is why they... Someone's coming.
Captain, why so long? We expected you hours ago.
This Cintrian does not work alone. We are fighting an organization, not one man. Bandits attacked us, not a small force either. One of my boys has a broken arm, another a shattered knee, lamed for life. And the word on the street is there's a hefty bounty on your head, Geralt.
그거는 알 바 아니고.
Don't care. Down to business. You learn anything?
I will start at the beginning. The port warehouse where the wine was delivered. We identified it, then learned who had hired it out. This proved to be a beggar, a stand-in. We found him. He admitted all. A man had paid him to sign the lease, a man he met while begging outside the pheasantry. There, fate lent us a hand. A waitress recalled spilling wine on a nobleman who spoke with a Cintrian accent.
What did he look like?
Her description was not helpful. Handsome, well-dressed, with a beard. No distinguishing marks. This could be anyone. But she remembered his female companion very well, as she recognized her.
설마.
On the Cintrian's arm was Cecilia Bellant.
The singer? I've heard of her. She's said to be gifted, very.
The same. We went to her home immediately. Cecilia was not there, but we questioned her servants. A chambermaid claimed Cecilia is to meet a Cintrian gentleman tonight. She'd invited him to a reception mounted by the Mandragora.
만드라고라? 뭐야 이거? 그건가?
The Mandragora. What's that?
A club, an affiliation of local artists. Painters, sculptors, troubadours and dancers.
Never heard of it.
They exude mystique, consciously, I think. Behaving like an exclusive cabal. Artistic elites. Every now and again they mount soirees.
망한
Only wealthy
침묵지.
patrons
다
are invited.
베어버려야 돼.
All arrive in elaborate masks, then drink and flirt.
Gotta nab the Cintrian. Seems we have to go to that get-together.
You read my mind, Witcher. I shall gather my men, surround the establishment.
그러면 안
Not a
되지.
mouse will squeeze through.
Out of the question. If the Cintrian truly does have men about the city, he will find out and
그거
escape once
했었잖아
again.
예전에. 가면
Duchess
쓰고
is
들어가는
right.
거.
Need to be careful.
크리스
Best
만났을
go
때
there, blend in with the crowd.
Precisely what we shall do.
가면 쓰고 가야지.
We, your grace.
Geralt and I. In that sort of company, the Witcher could use my help.
Where's the event gonna be held?
The Mandragora always assembles at the same place, a residence in Oatville. It's a very distinguished district. Geralt, you must don appropriate attire. Then meet me in Oatville, in Mountebank Alley.
그놈의 옷, 지금 옷도 멋진데. 아이. 또 이러다니. 트리스대로 끝난 줄 알았는데. 얘기할 수 있나?
Audacious. Be cautious.
아니네.
Guard her grace closely.
Let us drink to the health of our ladies for healthy life.
요번엔 게롤트하고 잘 되는 여자는 없나?
Should the beast you espy tell the commander, be spry! Up shoop dum da re re up shoop.
응? 뭐야, 사람 있었네? 아, 죄송합니다. 나 아무도 없는 줄 알고.
Sacre bleu! It's a crime! You're from the north, that's painfully clear.
Excuse me?
There is no excuse. There is but the need to outfit you anew. My salon stands open. Please come in.
일단 괜찮판 하자. 카드 주겠지.
In the mood for a round of Gwent?
나한테 모욕을 줬으니 넌 져야 돼. 뭐 쓰지? 이거 쓰자. 이거 완전 카드 뺏기인데. 아이고, 당연하죠. 꿀꿀꿀. 타. 야, 너 타라. 좋아. 어? 재밌듯? 뭐야? 막 나와? 근접은 아무것도 안 뜨네. 단영삼 카드 뽑자. 와, 완전 세다. 이겼다. 악성. 압도당해버렸어.
I'm.
이것도 그거 맞춰야 되나? 염려전화. 우아한 신하용. 요거지 뭐. 돈 많이 번다 너. 사야 되나? 내가 가지고 있었던가 뭐 기억이 안 나네.
Thanks. Think that's
Ever your servant, sir.
걸어가야겠네. 최근에 구한 거 쓰고 싶다 이거. 옷은 예쁜데 얼굴은. 아, 이거 칼도 벗어야 되나? 추가 조건 안 돼? 아닌가 이거? 그냥 가면 되는 건가? 검색 검색할래 검색. 원래 입으면은
They say a great deal about you, Witcher, and whisper.
Keep calm! Start no brawls!
아 신학 거를 입어야 되나? 뭐지?
Nice tune.
여기 아니야? 아무도 없네. 그거 생각난다. 영화 마스크.
Why does that not surprise me?
아 진짜 다 지각이네. 다 지각. 지각쟁이들.
Well, well. I did not expect you to have such a sense of
또
style.
입게 되다니 내가 이거를 됐다 답답한데.
My, Geralt. Not bad at all. And you've even a mask. Just not the kind required. They're a little different, the ones Mandragora members wear.
응?
I've brought you one.
이거
Put
아니야?
it on.
왜 간지나는데? 아, 저건 없었는데?
Any idea why they wear masks?
Likely because they imagine it
Hey.
oh so very romantic and
멍청이들.
mysterious. The
개뿔.
truth is far simpler. This way, no one can tell which drunken aristocrats are pinching the performers.
가자.
Let's go. Soiree's started.
Wise of you to hide your weapons. They'd not have let us in otherwise, that's certain.
그래, 나도 한번 해봐서 알아.
How do we find the Cintrian? Have you a plan?
Key is not to spook him. Need to ask after his partner, Cecilia, first. Less likely to raise suspicions. Soon as we
검사는
find
자기
her,
무기를
we
놓지
find
않는다고요.
him.
하지만
Right.
다른 무기가 있죠.
Right you are. We must proceed with
절대
caution.
떨어질 수 없는 무기.
Come, it's our turn.
게롤트 장난 아니.
Madame, Monsieur, an extraordinary pleasure to welcome you to the Mandragora's soiree. Tonight, I particularly recommend you direct your attention to the performances prepared by artists of our community.
Tell us about these performances.
This evening, the Mandragora has the honor to present 3 superb displays of artistry. The first was a concert by Cecilia Belont, a singer whose voice, were it stone, would surely be a diamond. Sadly, Mademoiselle Cecilia has sung.
Shame. We would have loved to hear her.
Luckily, you are in time to see the great Calesti, a master of visual illusions, come to us from far off Afir.
Visual illusions. Interesting. And the third artist?
The third and fourth, for they are a duo, are the Tuven brothers, presenting their newest pantomime.
We were really hoping to meet Cecilia Bellant.
You are admirers, I surmise. I'm certain you will have ample opportunity to converse with her.
It cannot be easy to identify anyone in this crowd. Perhaps you could help us find her.
I don't know where she is now, but I can give you a clue.
Let's hear
의심을
it.
안 해?
Seek the Kaveri orchid.
Meaning?
Cecilia wears one in her hair. You shall recognize her easily by the orchid.
Well, well. Dandelion's always complaining about artists being poor as temple mice.
The residence belongs to none of them. They are guests here. Oriana, she owns this. Woman in the black dress, there on the balcony.
Got her. Doesn't wear a mask?
It would be pointless. All would know her anyway.
Koviri Orchid. Let's look for it. If we find Cecilia, we'll find the Centrian.
파티 영웅 저장 괜트 하러 가야지. 여왕이면 뭐 주먹 싸움은 아니겠고 괜트겠지.
bold. Show us the artist in you.
잠시만.
custom at the canvas.
사는 거야?
Yet another.
Paradise, paradise. Oh, the damn thing.
Shh, silence. The artist must focus. Pretentious. I was prepared for all sorts of criticism, but
뭐야 나잖아.
pretentious.
설마 또 내가 해야 돼 이거? 에이 너무 쓱같잖아 이거. 응? 근데 여기가 아닌 것 같은데? 물감 던지는 거는? 어? 아 여기구나. 설마 누드원이?
Do not disturb. Shoo, shoo.
오 잘 그린다.
It's the right flower.
Of course it is. A Koviri orchid lends just the right contrast to her complexion.
Need to talk to your model. It'll only take a minute.
To me?
Lie still. You may speak, but for love's sake, do not move.
Wow.
아 설마
Impressive portrait.
코피아 난초가
I know the style, the stroke.
혼자가 아니지.
This is
아닌 것
Dorian
같은데?
Velez.
The gracious lady has heard of me.
I've heard Anna Henrietta herself wished you to paint her portrait once.
At one point, the palace chamberlain even wrote to me, but alas, ultimately refused my terms.
What was the matter?
When he learned I only ever paint nudes, he severed all contact. He said he would not dare offend her illustrious highness with such a
뭐라
proposition.
말할까 안 나가.
I've always longed to paint her. Such a shame.
I think you may still get your chance.
We came here to meet you, specifically.
To meet me? But why?
아니겠지.
Centrian noble you came here with. Wanted to ask you about him.
Centrian noble. Ah! You must think I'm Cecilia.
Orchid confused me.
I told you not to move!
As she concluded her performance, Cecilia tossed the flower into the crowd. I
아
caught it,
뭐야.
but I did see
그럼
the
어떻게 찾아?
nobleman.
Really like to talk to him. What did he look like?
Like many here. Tall, dark, masked.
Know where he might be now?
뭐 듣던 것 중에
He gave Cecilia a small
하트
gift,
모양의
a
상자.
heart-shaped box. Then they strolled off together towards the refreshment tables.
Excuse me, madame, monsieur, I
Oh,
cannot
갈게.
work like this.
갈게,
You
갈게.
must leave now.
잘 그리세요. 아니 중요한 거는 나 추가 조건 하러 온 건데 여기 걔 여기서 하는 건가?
Form exists in the material from
아,
start.
아씨 저기로 간 게 아니라 여기다 던지는 거잖아. 아 저기 그 뭐지? 노란 거 맵에 뜨길래 아 저기로 들어가서 하는 건가 하는 줄 알았죠. 자, 뽕.
I got it! It's the Soretor!
It's not a landscape, you pleb. It's a manifestation of the man's soul.
Blue blotch is all I see.
뭐야? 너한테 던질까? 얘한테 던지면 어떻게 되죠? 뭐야, 다 썼어. 던져볼래. 에이, 뭐야, 안 되잖아.
That green, lush and verdant as a field of vines.
To vines and to wine!
Should you tire of these hues, drop them in the pail
에이,
and
재미없다.
grab a different
어떻게 그릴 수가 없다. 역시 내 미적 감각은 너무 떨어져 있어.
Over Toussaint.
Or a deeply internalized fear of intimacy.
The composition takes shape.
Yes, it's sure to be a master.
Golds, scarlet, crimson, oxblood.
Icy lips, full sensually parted lips.
Yellow. Why ever yellow?
It's obvious. It represents transgression in its purest form.
Voila! Fine. Now, allow me a moment to ponder. My appraisal? The painting depicts spiritual dualism. The continual battle between good and evil. And defiance.
소리를 하고 있어.
Oh yes, that's him all right. Good versus evil. The dualistic nature of man.
And defiance.
One must simply
It must be someone famous, I tell you. Such talent. Exceptional, true.
술 마시는 것도 있구나.
Would I ever love to meet him? What a shame.
Need I remind you?
술 마시는 거 말고 카드.
Still, look, lanterns. They say releasing them brings good luck.
Fine. Let's give it a try.
Never suspected you believed in such things.
뒤에 다 못함. 내 거임. 가라. 이쁘다 이뻐.
Aren't they even? Because the right cuff seems somewhat higher to me.
It's fine. Relax. Master Ivo is a generous patron
뭐야, 여기
and a
아니잖아.
truly wonderful.
응?
Look at the mage.
뭐야,
I
우와.
believe he's casting spells.
Yeah, we'll see.
Sheba, Saraba, Urundum, Kalabahishta, Saveshkehi,
봐.
Beshkehi,
Ah, how beautiful. The dolphins. That is no ordinary illusion. The man is a true artist.
Impressive.
더 없어요 더? 더. 끝났네. 대화는 안 되나? 대화는 안 되나? 잘 봤습니다. 짠. 잠깐만, 혹시?
Ah, pretentious. I was prepared for all sorts of criticism.
아니네.
Need I remind you that neither did you.
분명 이거 뭐야? 안 되네. 대본 준 거 보면은 연극하는 거임. 요거다. 아, 네, 까먹었는데. 아, 이렇게 참여하는구나. 뭐야, 그럼 아까 위쳐 대본은 왜 주셨던 거지? 그냥 주신 건가? 한 잔 마셔야지.
The preferred hooch of artists.
Careful, it packs a pretty powerful punch.
I've built up a pretty powerful resistance.
아, 뭐야. 아, 뭐야. 아, 영웅 퀘스트 별로야. 아니, 없잖아. 겐트가 없잖아. 이건 부당하다. 다 내꺼.
On everyone's lips. 4 duets in one night. Leave us be. Please leave. This is a private alcove.
왜 겐트가 없는 거야? 니애들 겐트 싫어하니? 여기 화장실이 어디죠? 아, 잠깐네. 화장실 나중에 오는 걸로 이따가.
It's an outrage. Sure.
아, 겐트가 없어. 요 파티는 망한 파티다.
Someone left their loot behind. Looks a little like dandelions.
This was scratched. Someone beat him with it once.
Empty, heart-shaped box. Cecilia must have left it behind.
It looks like it held a flask of perfume. A gift from the Cintrian, I imagine.
Scent still hangs in the air. Let's follow its way of numbing their existential pain.
I do not even wish to comment.
카드 중독 센터요?
Must be someone famous, I tell you. Such talent. Exceptional, true. Would I ever like to meet him? But ashamed.
Need I remind you that neither did you.
This painting, it's rather... It's very...
Bloody colorful, that's what!
ignoramus.
It must be someone famous, I tell you. Such talent. Exceptional, true. Why would I ever love to meet him?
여긴 뭐야?
Need I remind you that neither did you.
에이 뭐 이렇게 길어. 그냥 적지잖아. 아까 저 문이잖아.
But what if he doesn't come?
He'll definitely.
Sorry, only artists in the Mandragora allowed.
여기에 화장실이 있다고 알고
We must
왔습니다.
consider what to do.
I'd recognize that voice anywhere.
You must be mistaking me for someone else.
I served 15 years in the palace. Your Grace, I'd not
Pierre,
mistake you
괜찮아?
for anyone.
Shh! Not so loud. We are here incognito, on state business.
Yes, Your Grace. How may I serve?
봤다고 말하지 마.
I hope we can count on your discretion.
Of course. I shall be silent as the grave.
근데 왜 여기 있는 거지?
Looking for Cecilia Bellant. Seen her?
She's in her dressing room, where she went with a nobleman. They clearly were drawn to each other.
What did the man look like?
Tall, broad-shouldered, a black beard peeping out from under his
맞네.
mask, and he
진짜.
spoke with a foreign accent, a drawl
근데
of
그
sorts.
게임이 금방
It must be him.
끝났거든요.
We must get to the dressing room, quickly.
Yes, Your Grace.
또 뭔가
I'll
있는 것
take you.
같은데.
No, stay here. Anyone tries to flee, you stop them.
Understood.
Understood.
Quickly, upstairs.
가운데네. 여기는 안 열려? 잠겼네. 똑똑똑.
That must be Cecilia.
헐?
No pulse. We're too late.
He slit her throat. The brute.
Didn't go out the door. Guard would have noticed. Might still be somewhere here.
천장에 붙어있나?
You
숨어있나?
must find him before he harms another. I shall alert Oriana
아직 파티에
at
있나?
once. She should bring her soiree to a
아니야.
close.
그러면 혼동이 올 수도
Shouldn't
있어.
split up.
도망칠 수도
Geralt,
있고.
I will be fine.
혼란이 올 수도
Go
있어.
after that rogue. I shall fetch help.
죽었어.
Killed her and went out on the balcony.
그게 끝이야? 잠겼네.
Bloody handprint. It's his. Tore down the door. Made a platform. Clever. Must be pretty strong, too.
떨어질 것 같아. 안 미끄러졌다.
Broke the flower pot when moving the door, then stepped in the soil. Must have climbed this ladder. Could still be here. Need to stay alert.
칼 못 두잖아. 계십니까? 아무도 안 계세요. 다 털어갑니다. 어?
Looks valuable, but it's not what he came for. Bloodstains. Links at a snapped chain. Jewel must have been on it. Jewelry box. Lock's busted. Picked open, probably. Smashed mirror. Someone crashed into it hard, then sank to the floor.
설마 여기서 누가 당한 건가? 주먹으로 깨진 않았을 거 아니야.
Empty inkwell. Knocked over, turned toward the room. Sconce is bent, smeared with blood. Someone try to grab it. Blood on the window frame. Someone climb out, fall out.
떨어졌나 보네. 그리고 범인은 욕실 나갔어.
Hunting knife, richly ornamented. Used during the fight, probably. Canvas is cut. Somebody took a knife to the painting, looks like. Locked. No key in sight. Precious stone. Bloody fingerprint on it. Thief came for this, must have. Tiny chain links next to it. From a snapped necklace. Seems there was a struggle. Jewel was in the box, it seems. Centurion tried to steal it, but someone got in his way. They fought, struggled, that's clear. Ended with one of them flying out the window. Fall had to have killed them. Jewel's still here, though. So our Centurion must have been the flyer.
너냐? 아닌데.
So, this is the tracker. A witcher, yes?
Indeed, this is him. We found the body together. Then he set off in pursuit of the killer.
And ended up here, but I've only found evidence of a fight. Seems the Centurions killed his last. Finally failed this time. Shame it happened too late for Cecilia.
Poor girl. Always told her she chose her males badly. But I would never have suspected she could arrive with a murderer. I'll alert the staff. Have them see to her body at once. Meanwhile, we should sit.
뭐야, 뭐 알고 있어?
I will tell you everything in full detail. I caught him red-handed, attempting to burgle, rifling through my possessions.
What did you do? Summon the guards?
There was no time. I feared he'd escape, refused to give him the chance. He stood with his back to me, so I attacked. He struck his head on a picture frame as we struggled. He was bleeding, dazed, and then he drew a knife. Everything happened very quickly then. I knocked the weapon out of his hand and pushed him hard. He
fell out of the window.
Just so.
장난 아닌데?
None too wise picking a fight with an armed robber.
Why? Because I'm a woman, in a frock rather than plate. I can take care of myself, I assure you. A hairpin might look like mere ornament, but plunged into an eye, it can be as effective as a blade.
Claim the man was trying to rob you when you walked into the room?
Yes. He stood over my dressing table, pouring through my jewelry.
After this is my guess. Picked it up while searching.
Why, that's the heart of Toussaint. Oriana, how did you ever come to have it?
투생의 심장?
I bought it many years ago from a young woman.
이게 뭔데?
Jewel seems important. Why?
The heart is an heirloom. It belonged to my family for years. Then it disappeared. I didn't think we would ever recover it.
Seems someone is very determined to find it. The thief left his tool bag behind. Found this drawing inside it. Look.
보석 그거잖아. 그림. 가보는 가본데
The heart of Toussaint. Representation's pretty faithful. Centurion must have been on a job. Got very clear instructions what to look
무슨
for.
힘이 있나? 비밀이 있나?
So it is not him we seek, but his employer. Is this the only evidence we found?
Also happened on the weapon he attacked Oriana with. Hunting knife. Used to skin game. Got an emblem on its hilt.
이번엔 퀘스트
This crest is used by the
아니라
Lords of Duntine. The present master of the castle is a passionate hunter. Our next lead, perhaps.
Duntine. Remember the place. Abandoned ruin just a few years ago.
More recently, the family's last heir, Roderick, returned to his ancestral seat and restored the castle.
Know any more about this Roderick?
His grandfather was an advisor to Queen Ademarta. The family received those lands as a grant for his service. Roderick is quite the recluse. He avoids society, preferring the company of a small team of knights, though the latter term is imprecise, as they seem more akin to vandals with crests on their shields.
Oriana, everything we discussed here, hope you'll keep it to yourself. Counting on it, in fact. Word gets out he, failed in his attempt to steal the jewel. His employer could run. We need to proceed cautiously.
Discretion is in the interest of us all. I'll not ask what this is about, just as I expect not to be troubled about
자기
it
곁으로 안
again.
오면은
By anyone.
실패한 걸로 알 거야.
Forgive me, Madam Oriana, but might I have a word?
You must excuse me a moment.
뭐야? 걔 여기서 이게 수상한가?
Oriana, any thoughts?
Few make me feel awkward, but in her presence, I sense anxiety,
냄새가
discomfort.
나는구만.
The drawing. It's on the same type of paper the victims' names were written on. Drawn with the same ink, too. Seems the work of our
맞아.
blackmailers.
그 글씨
They were
썼던
not only
진짜.
behind the beast's murders, but also stole the Son Real and sought to steal the heart of Toussaint.
Look, the wine, the jewel, both tied to you intrinsically. Coincidence? Not something I'm willing to believe.
설마
Worried about one
반역인가?
thing. That somewhere at the end of this scheme, plan might call for an attempt on your life.
그러네.
It could be something else altogether.
아니, 그게 최악이지. 머리에 새겨놔라.
My sister, Siana, might be among the schemers. She left court when we were children. My parents banished her from the duchy. I've not seen her since.
하여튼 간에 권력의 끝에는 아유 더러운 일도 왜 이렇게 많아 이거.
What did your sister do to get banished?
Siana was cursed.
Parents run afoul of some mage?
No. She was born at an inopportune moment. They said she was touched by the curse of the Black Sun. Geralt,
불쌍하구만.
is it true?